everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Seelen.
Cody, it was a excellent basketball week for men and women. First, we got to talk about the women, man. The women's basketball team finally got back on track, getting two big wins during the week. Let's break those down first.
Yeah, so the women's team ended a 5-game skid last week with 2 wins at home. The first game was on Wednesday against Cincinnati, who was a very familiar opponent to Iowa State and had been a team that was probably the worst loss. Up to that point, it was just a really bad loss out of Cincinnati. But you had the return matchup at home Coliseum, and this game was the Jada Williams show. There is no doubt about it. Jada Williams, for one reason or another, came out with just a fire I had not seen out of the women's basketball team since Cyhawk, and it was huge in Iowa State's 93-68 win. Jada Williams put up 44 points, which is, I think, the second highest scoring total of any Iowa State women's basketball player, behind her teammate Audie Crooks' 47 points earlier in the season. But this 44 points came at a much more efficient rate than what she had previously as her high as an Iowa State Cyclone at 28, when she was not as efficient. For this Cincinnati game, Jada Williams was 15 of 22 from the floor, which is a much higher efficiency. And she also contributed 6 threes, shooting at 60% from the perimeter. 60%, and had 8 assists to 2 turnovers. So you could just tell, like during the skid, one of the main issues was Jada Williams was just not able to take care of the basketball. But in this game particularly, she did a really good job, and she also contributed 2 steals as well. So, and then overall, this was Jada Williams coming out party. This was what you wanted to see out of Jada Williams when you got her in the transfer from Arizona. And then also beside her, you had Audie Crooks contribute 24 points off of 9 of 15 shooting, so a little better. I think I was kind of getting back to what Audie Crooks was doing earlier in the year. And then you also had 11 points from Ariana Jackson. And the Ariana Jackson thing was huge because I believe this was her first game back from her injury that she suffered against Cincinnati 2 weeks ago. So, and you could tell, I think you could tell from Ariana Jackson being back, there was a different intensity with this team, and everything worked so much better with Ariana Jackson back on the floor.
Yeah, the offense looked a lot more fluid with all those three back, and I'm really excited to see where this takes this women's team to finish the season.
Yep. And then off the bench, one thing that was a struggle for Iowa State during the losing skid was rebounding and getting out in transition. But Iowa State did a much better job at limiting second chance opportunities and getting out in transition on the offense. You had 8 rebounds from Ariana Jackson, but you also off the bench had 7 rebounds each from Reese Beatty and Evangelia Polk, both contributing 7 rebounds. So really nice to see that we are able to really just get on the glass and be as aggressive, not more aggressive. And one of the big stats from the game was Evangelia Polk had 5 offensive boards, so she was really getting that hustle. And it kind of reminds me a lot of freshman year Taman Lipsey, where you didn't necessarily have the offense go well, but you could just get the hustle and the defense from Polk, and that's exactly what you want out of her. She also put in 4 steals on the day, so really good effort. This was probably the best game I've seen out of the team since Northern Iowa, and it was nice that you got your win back against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great. These 2 wins are a great building block to build on, and definitely going into the meat of their schedule. We'll see if the women can keep this up.
Yep.
Now
And
we're
then,
gonna. Oh, go ahead.
wait.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we forgot to mention though. So before we hop to the men's team, we also talk about the Arizona game, and this one has a little bit of poetry because I mentioned Arizona earlier and Jada Williams. Jada Williams' old squad was the Arizona Wildcats, and she came over. So it was kind of a family reunion, if you will. call it that way for Jada Williams and the Arizona Wildcats. But this game, I said this. This was probably the wildest and funniest like women's basketball game I had ever been to. So before we get to the funny parts, we got to talk about the team, and this was a well-rounded effort offensively by Iowa State. You had Jada Williams put up 19 points, Audie Crooks with 17 points, Ariana Jackson with 15 points. Then off the bench, you had Sydney Harris with 14 points and Alyssa Williams with 12 points. And then I think, yeah, you also saw and this is where Evangelia Polk, I mentioned her name, she got inserted into the starting lineup, and she did her part. 7 points and 5 rebounds, but her defense was huge. And I mentioned her defense. Back to reference the Cincinnati game, the first time around, Iowa State played Cincinnati. Maya Perry was put up 26 in that win over Iowa State. Eventually, a Polk in the return game only allowed Maya Perry to score 2 points. So that's exactly the defensive prowess and presence that you want. And she continued to do that as Iowa State as a whole. The turnovers were a thing that they were equal numbers, so they were pretty equivalent. But I felt like with Iowa State, when they turned the ball over, they had more opportunities to get out in transition, and that's what you want to see. But yeah, so overall, a well-rounded offensive game for Iowa State. But this is the funny part. Tyler, do you want to guess how many Arizona players fouled out of this game?
I'm gonna go with what, 3?
Go higher.
All 5?
Yeah. So there were no. Okay, so Arizona had played 10 players, and 5 of them fouled out of the game. And here's the thing.
Oh wow!
And one of them was on 4. So Arizona just throughout this entire game was just in foul trouble. And these, I think maybe some of these were tick-tack fouls, but for the most part, Iowa State was just attacking Arizona defense, and they drew a lot of fouls, and they got to the line a lot. Now, granted, the free throw shooting has been the weakest, probably a weak point for this women's team, which I'm surprised considering I'm used to this Iowa State women's team shooting well from the free throw line. But they got to the rack a lot. They had 31 attempts, only shot 65% from the free throw line, but they did put in 43% shooting from 3. Ariana Jackson went 4-10 from 3. You also had Sydney Harris shooting 3 of 5 from perimeter off the bench, which I personally think is better because they had Sydney Harris start the game against Cincinnati, but she wasn't as effective. So I look at Sydney Harris as kind of like Curtis Jones whenever he comes off the bench and he gets you offense. So that's kind of I like the fact that we went back to her coming off the bench. It just gives you that offensive spark. But I mean, being there, it's I think I lost my voice by the end of it because of the amount of people that fouled out. We were all everybody that I was with, we were all waiting to see who the next person to foul out. That at that point, the game was just so out of reach. We were just waiting to see who fouls out.
Betting on who would all right, let's see. I told you.
Yeah. So I think we lost my voice by the end of it because we were doing the right-left chants, and it was just that was hilarious. And even the players, the Arizona players, I love when they just embrace that because I think one of the players looked to us and she gave us a smile as right before she sat down because she knew what was happening. So I can appreciate the fact that they had a sense of humor. But yeah, overall, really big, big week for the women's team just to kind of get back into, the Big 12 title race is probably it's out of the picture. So you're looking more towards perhaps getting a better seed in the Big 12 tournament and then getting you're really shoring up your resume. Because I think your non-con, you had a pretty decent non-con. So if you could just really take care of business, win the games you're supposed to, as long as you're above 500 in the Big 12, you should make the tournament.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Yeah. And to give a quick outline of what the rest of the season looks like for the ladies, Wednesday they will travel to Lubbock, Texas, to take on number 21 Texas Tech, who is 20-2 and 7-2 on the year. So a really impressive year out of the Lady Raiders. And then after that, you get some pretty favorable games. You host Central Florida. You then take a road trip out to Utah to take on the Utes and BYU. You then host and then you do host Kansas State, and Kansas State isn't the same Kansas State as years past. They aren't the same team, but I will have these two games circled versus Arizona State because they've got the head coach from who was previously at Grand Canyon, Molly Miller, who's got Arizona State to their best start in I believe a long time. They're 17-4, so I'm excited for that. And then you're on the road at number 12 TCU. You host, and then Senior Day you host Oklahoma State, and then you're at Kansas State to end the regular season. So you have two more opportunities to get a ranked win. And now I think with this past week, that Texas Tech game, I was scared during the losing skip, but now it's like you have a fighting chance. I think you have a fighting chance to beat Texas Tech. And
Especially if you play like the Arizona game and you spread out the scoring. Yeah, they can definitely beat anybody if you play balanced like that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you just like as long as you're able to really just take care of the basketball, that will be something to look forward to. But yeah, I think the confidence is back with the women's team, and I'm glad that they were able to get through this. And I think maybe this was a challenge that like was tough, and I was disappointed. But I mean, you think about it now, you figured out how to play without Addie Brown because I think for like you knew what you got out of Addie Brown, and she provided you so much. So it was tough for the ladies to really adjust to playing basketball without her. But I think this may be for the better because now you're seeing the team is challenged and forced to play different styles of offense.
Yep, and that will grow you as a team, essentially when she comes back, if everybody on the team is contributing. So we do have a comment by Second Meatball. He said Tech is good, but Hilton should be popping for that one.
To clarify, the Texas Tech game for on the women's side is at Lubbock, and that's the only time.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so it's in Lubbock, so that's going to be a much more challenging. Like it'll be more challenging than it would have been if it was at Hilton. I think it's safe to say after the last time Texas Tech, the ladies Raiders, the Texas Tech visited Hilton Coliseum, I have some friends who went there. I don't think they want to come back anytime soon.
Right. Nah, yeah, they definitely don't want to come back anytime soon.
Yeah. So, going from the women's basketball team, we go to the men's team who also won 2 straight, and I mean, they got back into winning ways after losing 2 straight at Kansas and at Cincinnati. They win 2 straight, and they won it in very convincing fashion. So, first, I got to talk about the game against Central Florida. This was, we can talk about Oklahoma State. Had it up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll go back to UCF. But yeah, man,
So,
that I mean, here.
So Oklahoma
Sorry
State.
about that.
This
But
was
go ahead.
okay. Yeah. So this game was very weird. I mean, this game got bumped up from 3 p.m. Central to 2 p.m. Central because of the snowstorm that was going on throughout the South. So they bumped up the game an hour. And then I also saw Oklahoma State put out that this game was free admission because of said snowstorm. So they were trying to get that place as packed as possible because obviously it's a top 10 Iowa State team coming into their building. So, and you knew Oklahoma State was definitely looking to get a signature win because they started out the season 9-0, but had gone 5-5 since. So they were in need of a signature win, and this was a really pretty good opportunity for them to get a signature win because Stillwater has been notable for being a house of horrors of sorts for Iowa State. Gallagher, Iowa has been a place where Iowa State has struggled in years past. So, so coming into the game, Iowa State was like a 9.5, 10-point favorite. So I was kind of skeptical of that because of the history of Iowa State playing in Stillwater. But the first half proved otherwise because they came out guns a-blazing and they looked like the team that we saw at Mackey Arena in the second half. That was like the best performance I had seen out of Iowa State since that game.
Yeah, Cody, I'm not gonna lie, like when we started off with that 16-4 run, like I knew it was curtains. It was curtains when I knew that that Killian Torres was making open threes. I was like, okay, I think he might have passed that wall. And like, don't you also think that now because of the emergence of these young guards that Taylor can finally play free? Because you looked at him, he looked probably as fast as he has this entire season. Like,
Mm-hmm.
definitely had a great day at the free throw line, 4 of 9, 13 and 5. Um, a very quiet 13 and 5. Torrey had put some great minutes, 2 of 4 from three, 3 of 7 from the field, and obviously the big point man Milan Momcilovic again, man, nine nine 3 point 9 3 point attempts, 5 made ones, 8 of 8 from the 3 throw line, 29 and 7. So Milan continues his historic year from beyond the 3 point line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this thing, like, basically, like, I think it was kind of a thing for Iowa State. It's just you just knocked them out in the like. I was This is kind of like if you're watching like UFC and you knock a guy out within like 2 minutes of like the first round or something, or if like or it's like Mike Tyson knocking down the dude in like 8 seconds or whatever. It's basically was watching like Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. That was the first half. So
Definitely.
yeah, I mean they got up what they had a 30-point lead at halftime, and then there were some things, and I don't know if this was like more of like just maybe you kind of let your foot off the gas or whatever. Oklahoma State started to find the shots, but the lead got whittled down to less like to like 9 points, but it never felt like Iowa State was going to lose that game. At like
Mm,
because I mean, I will admit things got a bit sloppy in there. There were a lot of like Tam Listy had quite a bit of turnovers. He had 4 turnovers in the day. I think most of those, if not all of them, came in the second half. Iowa State wasn't making shots. Oklahoma State was starting to make shots, and I think that second half is just something that I would need to get ironed out. And obviously, there's discourse about it because, like, yeah, it's kind of you are kind of disappointed when you only win by 13 when you were up by 30 at halftime. But I wonder if that point if you're TJ, like you should just have the guys try not to get injured or whatever. So I wonder if you laid off a little bit just so they don't get injured, you don't lose a guy because you know obviously how grueling like your back half of the Big 12 schedule was.
right. And it's not really worth it to burn all your quality guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Dominicus played he struggled a bit in this game. He did get 2 points, 2 rebounds, had a really nice dunk.
Uh-huh.
Jamarian Bateman struggled on the offensive side. He did get a big steal at the end, but he's just something that a guy that he can bring in solid minutes. Nate Heisey had a great game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So even if he can't contribute on the scoreboard, he was able to contribute offensively or defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, this was like a needed like road game, and I think you feel pretty good about it. And um, I mean, I think this the fact that you had that horrible of a second half. I think Iowa State will like TJ will find a way to use it as a reason
Yeah,
for them to get better. Like I think that's what's gonna be like knowing this team, knowing this Iowa State team, they're gonna use it to find a way to get better. And I think it obviously is disappointing, but like I think it's for the better. So you know like what you can and can't do like when you get into that back half of the schedule.
no, completely agree. And Cyclone people gives it a good point. Guys get a win, and will have a chip on their shoulder, hopefully going into the tough stretch. Yeah, I mean, you have what a good 4 games that you can rack up on before you play KU on
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day. So, I mean, let's take a look at these standings right now. We're gonna take a look at that, and really, it's just like this. Like Cody, this is the best conference in college basketball. Like bar none.
Mm-hmm.
You see this. You see Arizona, who has a huge game tonight against BYU, the third place team, who's 7-0. Texas Tech gets a huge win over Houston, which we'll go over in the Big 12 second. You have BYU getting a win over Utah. Houston, KU just putting B to A to K State. Um, we have to well, man that we got, when we talk about that game was hilarious. And then there's
Yeah.
Iowa State. So you see these
Mm-hmm.
6 teams like separated by 2 games, and it just seems
Yep.
like, man, if you lose a game, then it's like it stinks. But like basically now, I think I think if you're an Iowa State fan, I think you really now should just focus on seeding because the way that this conference is going, as much as I would love to win a regular season title, I don't know if it's going to happen because, I mean, yeah, Arizona at some point has to lose, but like the way they're playing, they might not lose for a bit.
Yeah, and I mean it. I think there was something like we knew like for the couple years that like for the most part like Houston had been basically running the league and then I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people were wondering like who can like run like who can like give Houston a run like out like who can like potentially be in the way Houston like running the league, and it turns out that Arizona is exactly that. Yeah, they're off to like this is like the unanimous number one team in the country. There's no doubt about it. Like they are right now, in my eyes, the number one overall team in the country. So, but I mean, if we're talking about seeding, just just looking at the Big 12, I feel like there is a sharp drop off from from the top six. Like once you get into once you get past Kansas and Iowa State, there's a drop off to Central Florida and then West Virginia, and then there's a little bit of a drop off. You get to TCU, Colorado, and then I'd say Colorado, and then it, the middle pack of the conference is just it feels very weak. And if you're looking to try to get like a seventh or eighth team in the NCAA tournament from the Big 12, you would have to look at UCF being the team to do so because I think they're probably the best team for that situation, and you can't have UCF just collapse if you want to get like more than just the top six. Obviously, the top six in the Big 12 can all go to the Sweet 16, go to the Elite Eight. You even have a couple of them that can win the national title. Arizona can do that. I think BYU could. Houston could. But I'm just looking at this conference and like, man, you have a clear top of the conference and a clear basement of the conference. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at that middle, it is not looking. It is ugly.
The meaty middle is ugly. Like there's some losses to be had in here,
Yeah.
and I think
I,
like these middle 4 or 5 teams that are right below Iowa State are pesky teams. So if you don't play your best, they could come up and beat you.
Yep. And I mean, we could probably talk I think we could talk more about like each of these teams when we get like in our Big 12 segment because
Yeah,
boy oh boy, I got some things I wanted I think there's like a lot good deep diving you can do because I was able to watch like a good amount of the Big 12 games.
same. But let's before we do that, let's go and talk about bracketology, where there is the bracketology um thing right here. So we're gonna take a look at this, see what Joe Lenardi has to say. And we're gonna take a look at it right now. And it was just up. It was up. This was updated as of I believe Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, as of what was that? The 23rd, which is Friday. So you're looking at obviously Arizona being the number one overall team by like no surprise, nobody's surprised. And then you've got your number one seeds, Arizona, Michigan, UConn, I believe, and then Duke would be the other one. Looking at each of the UConn and Duke. Okay, I'm not surprised. Okay, so just seeing where everybody is landing. I mean, let's see, Tech, you got San Diego State is solid. I mean, some matchups like early on. I don't. This won't be indicative of what you could see, but yeah, I think the number one seeds are starting to establish themselves, and like the teams who can get a number one seed, those are starting to get ironed out a bit.
Mm,
And then I
mm.
guess for and then
I think
let's
Iowa
see if
State
you find Iowa State
is.
anywhere.
And let's see. I'm on like. I think Iowa State is. And let's see. I'm on like. Really a 3 seed? Really a 3 seed? This would be in the East region. So they'd be playing in St. Louis. This would be in the East region. So they'd be playing
Okay,
in St. Louis.
okay, so I could probably understand like it's. I would personally have Iowa State as more of a two seed. I think they're more likely to get a two. Like But generally, like Iowa State, like even in this position, would find themselves around a 2 or 3 seed. But I wonder, like,
Well,
this
yeah,
doesn't
or
take into
Purdue
account the
because
Oklahoma
Purdue
State
is
game.
right
So,
above us. But I think
so
this was on Friday before they lost to
Purdue
Illinois.
is right
above us. So, but I think this was on Friday before they lost to Illinois.
yeah. This was before. Yeah, this is before Iowa State beat Oklahoma State, and Purdue had lost to Illinois, and obviously Texas Tech will the Texas Tech will get a bump because
But yeah,
of
no, and I
winning,
just you look at some of these matchups. Yeah, no, and I just you look at some of these matchups. Possible round of 32 matchups just based off of this. You look at the East bracket, possible round of 32 matchups you see against in the East bracket. You see Kentucky, Iowa State would play against Louisville, the 2 seed Purdue. So both Kentucky teams, Iowa State would play against Louisville, a Big Ten team, and so both Kentucky teams, Iowa State maybe possible future Big Ten team and future conference Iowa State maybe possible future and then future conference opponents. Talk about a classic, and then a classic Sweet 16 game. Talk about a classic Arkansas and Texas Tech classic Sweet 16 game in the round of 32. Arkansas and Texas Tech facing off again. And then St. John's going up against Florida. That's a great game. That'd be fun. And then St. John's going up against Florida. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I think I saw like I don't know who had, but there are a couple of bracketology things that I kind of had a keen eye for. I saw one from Projection Sports by Tyler Markley that would have Iowa, that would have Cyhawk as a hypothetical second round matchup in the Midwest region, Oklahoma City.
Oh man, put Delta ask them in the tournament right before we go to Chicago. Put Delta ask them in the tournament right before we go to Chicago. Oh yeah, give me that all day.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another. There's another bracketology from Nick Bateman, who had Iowa State as a 2 seed. And would be matched up against Lipscomb in the first round. So
I saw that.
Face for Iowa State fans in the East region.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing a good amount of teams. So yeah, Iowa State bouncing back and forth between a 2 and a 3 seed, and that's where I think I would like to lean more a 2 seed, probably like that last 2 seed.
I mean, look at the murderer's row that the Midwest. Look at the murderer's row that the Midwest. Michigan, that's the one Midwest would be. Houston, that's the 2 seed. Michigan, Illinois, that's the 1 seed. Vandy as a 4 seed. Kansas, Illinois as a 3 seed. Vandy as a 4 seed, and Kansas as a 5 seed. I'm telling you. So if Kansas is a 5 seed in the Midwest, I think they can make it. If Kansas is a 5 seed, they'll probably make it at least. I think they can make it Final Four. Because I think they can beat Michigan, if not the Final Four. They can beat Michigan. I think they can beat Michigan, and Houston will have to see. They can beat Illinois, and Houston will have to see. I think that would be the Elite Eight matchup in Chicago. Man, Houston versus KU in Chicago. Man, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, and then I think So going back to, and then just some of the other ones too that I would be interested in seeing. You have Iowa as an 8 seed along with UCF. Okay, so Leonard did have UCF as a pretty good as an 8 seed, which I think would be crucial to have just kind of like a team in that 8 to 9 seed range.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Part of me there's a part of me that kind of hates Duke, but it would be fun and funny for me to be able to watch
and cheer on for Duke.
Watch Iowa and imagine against Duke
and cheer on for Duke. Oh, I don't hate Duke that much. I don't hate Duke. Oh, I don't hate Duke that much. I don't hate Duke too much to cheer for Iowa. Oh, hell no.
And then there's a hypothetical second round matchup between Arkansas and Texas Tech. And I remember how
that was in the Sweet 16, right?
That was one of the best matches of
that was in the Sweet 16, right?
I believe so.
That was a great game.
That was fun. That was such a fun game to watch. And then BYU. I think BYU they can make a pretty good run because especially if they reach that if they can get to that ceiling that they know that I think they're capable of.
So hypothetically, they played Nebraska, who in the Sweet 16, right? They played Nebraska, who in the Sweet 16, right? Or would that be the Elite Eight?
Yeah. Wait, no, that could be. Let me see.
Or would that be the Elite Eight? But that would be a fun matchup.
That would be Elite Eight.
Man. Okay, but that would be a fun matchup,
Yeah.
man.
But I mean, and also in that region, Miami of Ohio,
Ooh,
out of the
I
MAC,
could see them upsetting North
doing.
Carolina.
They've undefeated. Oh, that would be such a story for Miami of Ohio. That they've been one of the best mid majors out of, and they're probably the best mid major.
They're not.
I don't consider Gonzaga as a mid major because they've been.
They're not.
Yeah, the West Coast Conference outside of Gonzaga is
right.
a mid major. Gonzaga is they're on their own tier.
Right.
So yeah, this is probably the fun part. Well, now you're out of January. You are now going to be you're gonna get to February.
But
I think
this is gonna be the time where everybody is going to be focused. This is gonna be the time where everybody is going to be focused on seeding. Honestly, at this point, you sort of know who is probably going to be in the race. You sort of know who is probably going to be the Big 12 in the race, Big 12 regular season championship. For the Big 12 regular season
but
championship,
obviously,
you can't really give up on it, mainly because there could be you could have one bad week and then you're mainly because there could be so you could have one bad week and then you're
for
the chaos. So I'm also looking for the chaos.
You want to talk about chaos
that could ensue because
as we
want to talk about chaos. Let's across the Big 12 segment. We got to take a look at Arizona's
the Big 12
segment because we got to take a look at Arizona's hell week because it's coming up and it's coming hot.
Ooh. Yeah, so Arizona, they've been, for the most part, they've been coasting by relatively. Their schedule has been very, very favorable for them. Their conference, they started conference play at Utah, and they won by basically 20. They beat the crap out of Kansas State, putting up 101. They beat TCU by 13. They take care of Arizona State in a rivalry game, and then UCF. That UCF game was a pretty interesting game, and I think that says more about what UCF is capable of than Arizona, just because of how close that game was for the most part. And then they just mopped the floor with Wes Miller and the Cincinnati Bearcats.
35.
They win by 80,
35
against West Virginia. So Arizona have been not just beating the teams as posted. They are wiping.
It's been hella impressive. It's been hella impressive.
I mean, obviously, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on the phenomenal freshman Koa Pete. But I mean, one guy I'm looking at is Krivas. That dude, he's found form. He put up a double in this game, 11 in the game against West Virginia, 11 points and 12 rebounds, and the consistency was something that I think Arizona was looking for him to have because he had been inconsistent for a decent chunk. He would put up 14 points. He put up 14 points against Alabama, but only pulled up 2 against Abilene Christian, and then put up 13 against San Diego State, only put up 5 against Bethune Cookman. But now he's put up 12 against UCF, 9 against Cincinnati, 12. Or no, I'm looking at rebounds. Yeah, so he put up 17, 11 in his last game points wise. So you're starting to see him round into form, and that's a huge thing. And then another guy I'm looking at for Arizona is Braden Burries. He put up 22 points in this game. And then to go along with that, he also had 7 assists. So it is just an overall entire team effort. There's not a notable weakness I see out of Arizona.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been really, really impressive.
Yeah,
man. I mean, how well this Arizona team's been playing.
Really,
but let's
really
take a look at the schedule. How well this Arizona team's been playing. But let's really take a look at the schedule. Next, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looked at these 5, 6, 7, 8. What's it? 1, 2, 3, 4. These next 9 games, but really the next 9, the 7 games that are next 9 games, but really the next. They start off the 7 games that are with Big Monday, man. They start
and
off,
and
man,
really,
with
if
Big
you
Monday,
really look at
man.
the Big Monday
And
schedule, it's
really,
basically
if
all Big
you
12 the
really look
next
at the
3 to
Big
4
Monday
weeks, then it's
schedule,
absolute
it's
cinema.
basically all Big
Like
12 the next
it
3 to 4
starts off
weeks, then it's
tonight
absolute cinema.
against number
Like
13
it
BYU
starts
on the
off
road.
tonight against
Man, this is
number
going to be
13
a
BYU
raucous
on the
atmosphere at
road.
the Marriott Center
Man,
tonight.
this is gonna be a raucous atmosphere at the Marriott Center tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at this as like we know, like I think like the discourse for Arizona is obviously the conference schedule has been that great, but I mean when you put up a non-con schedule like Arizona has, winning against Florida, UCLA, at UConn, and then you smoke Auburn and Alabama. I mean it's hard to go against Arizona, but I mean yeah, BYU that is going to be a fun matchup. AJ DeBansta and Cole Pete, two of the best freshmen in the country, and it's crazy how we have like such good freshmen within the Big 12, and that's not to forget Darren Peterson and Kingston Fleming's out of Houston.
He
Who I
doesn't,
personally
and he
think
had a hell of a
Kingston Fleming's
game
doesn't get top 12.
on
He
Saturday
doesn't,
against
and he had a hell
Texas
of a
Tech.
game
On Saturday
Yep,
against Texas Tech.
yep. But yeah, the Arizona BYU for Big Monday. I'm definitely tuning into that because I'm lucky enough that this is at a good time where I don't have to worry about the next day.
Hey, let's go.
I don't have class till noon tomorrow, so beautiful.
That's clutch. Hey, let's go.
I'll be
That's
watching
clutch.
that. Yep. But yeah, I mean we mentioned it. We just mentioned it already.
Oh
We got to
baby,
talk
what
about
a game.
Texas Tech Houston. What?
Oh baby, what a game. Yeah.
I think
My
this was probably
goodness.
game of the year.
We're
This
gonna
is
go take
game
a
of
look
the
at
year.
that and take
Yeah,
a look across
my
the
goodness.
Big 12.
We're
Like
gonna
we
go
usually
take a
do.
look at that and take a look across the Big 12 like we usually do.
Yeah. Kingston, we mentioned Kingston Fleming's 42 points for that for the freshman. This is I believe the most that a freshman has scored under Kelvin Sampson
Yes.
in a very long time. I think it was like 30 years ago.
Yes.
So yeah, 42 points for Kingston Fleming's, 8 of 10 from the free throw line with 6 assists. And he was doing everything he could to keep up with JT Toppin from Texas Tech. Because JT Toppin also put in a pretty nice game. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 7 of 8 shooting from the free throw line. And those rebounds included 6 offensive rebounds. So he was in there against Houston. He was in there being as physical, if not more physical, than Houston. Because one of the big things that helped Texas Tech win this game was the offensive rebounding. And when it came to that end Texas Tech absolutely dominated Houston. 21-11 was the offensive rebound discrepancy, and that clearly helped Texas Tech get second chance opportunities, and they were able to convert a good amount of those into points. And I mean, this was not even the best game. This was I'd say a down game for Christian Anderson. He only had 12 points, but he also contributed 9 assists in this game. So he was still a factor even with kind of the disappointing game. And another thing that was big in this game was JT Toppin and Christian Anderson both played 40 minutes. They played the entire game. So those two were gassed.
Definitely. I think the difference in this game was the contributions of Jalen Petty and Donovan Atwell both chipping in 18 points.
Jalen Petty and Donovan Atwell both chipping in 18 points,
adding 2 assists to his total, which I think that might have put Texas Tech over the top his total, which I think that might have put Texas Tech over the top in this game.
Yeah. But like what I said, I think that was a big part. But I will ultimately look at this game, and the biggest thing I look at was the offensive rebounding, because the glass that was the key factor for Texas Tech to win this game. Like that'll be something I'll talk about, because that shows that offensive rebounding, those second chance points are huge, and especially in a tight game like this. You want to be able to get as many second chance points as possible if you're the offense. And for the defense, you don't want to allow second chance points. So yeah, that's the tale. And yeah, Texas Tech gets a big win at home, and they end the road winning streak for the Houston Cougars, who had previously been 2 years undefeated on the road. Their last loss coming at Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas in 2024. So yeah, that domination on the road, I don't know if you're going to see that for any time soon. You're not seeing that anytime soon. I mean, yeah, this win puts Texas Tech right into the race. I think about it maybe a month ago before that Duke game, I didn't have as much confidence because obviously they weren't as deep and they weren't really able to get like the big contributions. But yeah, now you're seeing it. Texas Tech 16-4, 6-1 of the Big 12.
They sure are,
and they're right
and
there,
I
right
mean,
there in the race.
you look at that.
They sure
we're
are.
gonna,
And
this
I
was
mean,
like definitely game of the year.
you look at that,
and then we're gonna,
and the
and
conference
this
so
was
far.
like definitely
We're
game
gonna take
of
a
the
look
year.
at some of the other scores that
in the
happened on
conference so
Saturday.
far. We're gonna take a look at some of the other scores that happened on Saturday. You see,
of course, in the conference.
you see,
I think you'll start. We're about to BYU getting the Holy War round 2. BYU wins 91-78, and AJ DeBansta put in phenomenal performance. 43 points in this game. I don't know what else to say. The dude
it's
is
insane.
What more
man.
can AJ DeBansta do?
It's insane, man.
Yeah, it's just. And then you had DeBansta led the way with 43 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. But you also had 21 points coming from Rob Wright III, 21, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. And then Richie Saunders had another quiet night in the Holy War. 12 points, only 1 of 5 shooting.
Yeah, Utah was able to hold them from
very
check.
Odd.
And the 3-point line.
Yeah,
Utah was able to hold them from check. With those victory, they scored 76 of BYU's 91
with those
tonight.
victory, they scored 76 of BYU's 91
screwed to see that those were the big 3 on BYU. We're screwed to see that those were the big 3 on BYU.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, going from that great performance to what was an ass kicking in the second, late. The Sunflower State Showdown. Kansas goes into the Jayhawks of Kansas go into Manhattan and beat the Kansas State Wildcats 86-62. This game ended on a 27-7 run for the Jayhawks. And boy, oh boy, if the seat wasn't already warm for Jerome Tang, it's warm.
And then to put insult to injury, and then
Melvin Counter
to put
Jr. were probably
insult to injury,
the funniest gif of the year of him hitting the Wabash Cannonball.
The funniest gif of the year of him hitting the Wabash Cannonball. Nearly at the end of the game, 30 plus seconds left.
Yeah,
or nearly at the end of the game.
Yep. And then what happened at the end of the game as well? Bill Self had was it Melvin Council do not dunk it, and then you just see him go up and dunk that right at the end of the game to really put the cherry on top. That was hilarious. And then this segment going around, and then the beautiful thing in the locker room, you just see I think it was Melvin Council again. He had the belt and he was just putting the belt to the floor, and then the camera turns and you just see Bill Self smiling, and I'm just dying of laughter. That was so hilarious, considering what had even when Bill Self was telling Council to not dunk it, somewhere in the back of his head he was smiling, I have the I have the video.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get off of this so I want to see. Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get off of this so I want to see it.
Yeah, I got it up. Yeah. Here it is. So this is hilarious.
We got
bro. Will Self smiling. That's the cherry on top, and I mean, man. And then our favorite, the one shining moment of Jerome. That made the rounds again. That was beautiful.
Wait, do you have the gif of him doing the Wabash Cannonball?
Hold on.
Do you have the gif of him doing the Wabash Cannonball?
Yeah. I've got it too. Yeah. I've got it right here. Right here. Right at the end of the game. Right here.
Kansas is going to win,
though. Dude, this is, I'll admit this. I love Kansas Twitter.
That is elite level trolling right there. I love that. They are really
funny. And
that is elite level trolling right there. I love that.
Bill Self was definitely Bill Self was something. At that point, I think he's honestly just enjoying life. When you see him smile like that, he's like, he's done everything. Like he's about as straightforward as a coach as you have. But man, when he's enjoying life like that, and obviously, this leads more into like kind of coaching. With Bill Self? I mean, he had that health scare, and he's had the recent years. It looks like he's just starting to enjoy life. He's just starting to enjoy it all, savor in like these rivalry games. Because I don't think he'll retire after this year, but I feel like within the next few years, you may see him like retire from coaching in Kansas. And yeah, you can just see.
I can see him.
So he's enjoying life. But back to the Kansas State side of things. Boy, oh boy, it has gone from bad to worse for Jerome Tang. I mean, man, they are 500 on the year, 1-6 in the Big 12. And what do you even do? Here's the thing. This game, there wasn't even Darren Peterson. Darren Peterson didn't even play in this game. This was a rivalry game, and you were supposed to get up for this. And you just let Kansas walk into your building, stomp on your face, take a crap on your carpet, wipe it all over, like they rubbed it all over the floor, and then they just took a piss in your sink.
The fact that when Melvin Council Jr. was doing the Wabash Cannonball Melvin Council Jr. was doing the Wabash Cannonball by the logo, really shows you how much of a dumpster fire it is in Manhattan right now. Really shows you how much of a dumpster fire it is in Manhattan right now.
Yeah, and I mean that was the only thing.
That posterizer was nasty, bro. That posterizer was nasty, bro.
Yeah, I at that point. Okay, hold on. Yeah, this was okay. Yeah, I got it too. I got the poster as well. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, this poster right here. Situations just like this. Doesn't that remind you of doesn't it remind you of that Shaq poster?
Oh yeah.
Or maybe even like the Scottie Pippen one over Patrick Ewing.
Yep.
That's what that reminded me of. But yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to show my face again on the campus if I had my in-state rival come in and they embarrass like me on my own floor by 24 points. I don't know if I'd ever want to show my face.
It's an embarrassing performance by K-State. They're down bad right now. It's an embarrassing performance by K-State. I don't even know that they're down bad. There's not really much you can say after that. I don't even know that there's not really much you can say after that.
And the thing is, you can't even fire Jerome Tang because his buyout is
18, 19 million, and
$18 million to buy him out.
I'm pretty sure 19 million, and I'm pretty sure the boosters are probably going to pull that money together and see what they can do. Pull that money together and see what they can do.
But the thing is, do you think they want to do that? Considering you have football right there. And now you have Colin Klein come in to take over for Chris Kleiman. I'm pretty sure those boosters are gonna put that money in the floor.
Yeah.
Like, why would they spend $18 million just to have the coach go away when you have
They're
that?
sort of in a pickle right now, so that stinks for them. They're sort of in a pickle right now, so that stinks for them.
Yep. Yeah. It'd be a damn shame if I was in that situation, but
I guess we'll never know.
I'll never know what it'd be like to be in that situation.
I guess we'll never know.
Yep. And then to cap off kind of the Big 12 on Saturday, Central Florida gets a pretty decent win at Colorado. They win 95-86. TCU beats Baylor 97-90.
It's not looking good at Waco.
It is not. And
it's not looking good at Waco.
It is not looking good. And I mean, with Baylor, this is where do you see them getting because they would have to even for them to even make the tournament, they would have to go on a pretty decent they would have to go on a huge winning run. And this is some of the games that they have. They're at Iowa State. They host BYU. And then they get Louisville for a random non-con game on Valentine's Day, which still surprises me.
Interesting.
But you know what? Maybe you get that non-con win because you didn't really do too much in the non-con outside of beating San Diego State. Then you host Arizona and then at Houston. If Baylor can find a way to get one or two upsets,
and even then they would have to go through and probably win at least 3 or 4. And even then they would have to go through and probably win at least 3 or 4 games in the tourney in Kansas City.
Yeah, And then our final game, this was the Big 12 after dark. This was the hot seat bowl between Wes Miller and Bobby Hurley. But Bobby Hurley comes out on top, 82-68, and boy, oh boy.
I know.
This just frustrates me more as like an Iowa State fan because we
lose
to Cincinnati, and then they go out to the state of Arizona
and get trounced. It's a damn
by
shame,
both
man.
Arizona and Arizona State.
It's a damn shame, man. Every time, every freaking time, bro. Every time, every freaking time, bro.
Yep. But we move on. We've had a week. We beat the crap out of UCF, and then we win convincingly at Oklahoma State.
We will be just fine.
I think we'll be just fine.
Do you have anything else for
we will be just fine?
Because do you have anything else for conference wise? Because
not conference wise. I think that we've said it obviously the preview for Big Monday, but then real quick, you have a couple, you have another important game, and I think we talked about this off air, but what a week of college basketball we're gonna have, and this will lead right into kind of the nationals. Mentioned tonight, number 1 Arizona at number 13 BYU. Tomorrow, you have number 5 Nebraska traveling to number 3 Michigan in a top 5 battle in the Big Ten. And that is going to be Fred Hoiberg trying to keep the Nebraska Cornhuskers undefeated. So they're hoping that Nebraska ball stays undefeated. And then Friday, you have number 3 Michigan traveling to Eastland to take on number 7 Michigan State. And then on Saturday, College Game Day will be heading to Lawrence, Kansas to take for number 13 BYU at number 14 Kansas. And then Sunday, it is number 9 Illinois at number 5 Nebraska.
Strap in, Seckos. It is going to be a great week of basketball.
Strap in, Seckos. It is going to be
you're old like I am,
great week of basketball.
To get your pregame nap in and stay up. We got a hell of a game to watch tonight. Stay up. Because we got a hell of a game to watch tonight. I might take a nap after the show so I can watch this game tonight. I think I might take a nap after the show so I can watch this game tonight.
That's fair enough. Yeah, and then here's the thing. This is the appetizer to Arizona at BYU. Number 20 Louisville.
That is going to be a game too. I saw that. I'm like, ooh. So that is going to be a game too. I saw that. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
So man,
now we're you're deep into conference play. You're going to get a lot better matchups, and then this has some relations to Iowa State. Purdue, they've lost 2 straight at UCLA,
and that just goes back into their freshman scoring 47 points on the road. Their freshman scoring, it was 47 points on the road. My goodness,
Wagler.
It was like,
Keaton Wagler. I think most people would have thought that this was some random European kid that they got
I was asking
he's a freshman
KU and K-State fans. I'm like, how the hell did you let him get out of Kansas? KU and K-State fans. I'm like, how the hell did you let him get out of Kansas? But apparently, from a K-State fan, apparently from a K-State fan, he was telling me that Brad Underwood is a lot. He was telling me that Brad Underwood is a Kansas native, and he recruits the state of Kansas a lot. Underwood, which makes sense.
Oh, Underwood.
Yeah, Brad Underwood.
Yeah, looking at where his hometown is, Shawnee, that's not too far from Kansas City, and then that is I'm looking at how far it is to Lawrence. That's about half an hour or so to Lawrence.
That'd be something to look at in the offseason. That'd be something to look at in the offseason. Maybe he'll go back home to KU. When the transfer portal hits, maybe he'll go back home to KU. All right,
maybe.
That is going to be the conclusion to today's show. Is going to be the we went really long today, conclusion to today's show. So thank you guys really long today, but there's a lot of stuff we need to cover. So thank you guys before we go. Watching. A big shout out to FanDuel. Thank you guys. A big shout out to tuning in to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Make sure tuning in to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. We have our Super Bowl matchup to get your Super Bowl Seattle Seahawks. We have our Super Bowl matchup, the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. See,
the New England Patriots.
See, like
you can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. Everybody thought the dynasty was dead after Tom Brady, Bill Belichick left. Nope, it has been revived. It's basically like I don't know, was the First Order, whatever, Star Wars, to make a reference to that.
Drake,
but this time it's Drake, Mike Vrabel.
Like this is what people get. I like everybody that was complaining about. This is what people get. I like everybody that was complaining about. Too much. Okay. We got the Chiefs at home. Win too much. It's New England Patriots. So we got the Chiefs at home, guys. It's New England Patriots. Thanks a lot for complaining about the Chiefs. Thanks a lot. Now we have to deal with the Patriots for another 2 decades. Thanks a lot for complaining about the Chiefs. Now we have to deal with the Patriots for another 2 decades. Y'all did this, okay? Y'all haters did this, okay? Y'all did this, okay? Anyways, y'all haters did this, okay? If you want to find us on Twitter, I can be found at SciTech. If you want to find us on Twitter, I can be found at SciTech Burner. And then Cody can be found at Tierney's Burner. If you want to ever talk ball with us, yes.
Maybe share occasional
the
memes.
meme lord Cody, yes. And then you can follow us on social media Cody. At Twitter, and then YouTube, Facebook, follow us TikTok, on social media, and Instagram at Twitter, Bleav in Iowa YouTube, State, Facebook, and on TikTok, Twitch we are and Instagram at Bleav in Iowa State 2025. And on Twitch we are can be found at Bleav in Iowa State 2025. So that will be the conclusion of our show. This is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones. This is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
Go Cyclones.
Sorry.
All right.
Hell no.